Alright, BBPN. As you may or may not remember, last week our Resident of the Void Scar offered a prize for the season champion, the wallpaper engine on Steam. Well, I want to add a little bit to the spot and throw Red Faction, Guerrilla, Remaster, Tor. Anyway, this game to the pot for a season 4 champion. Alright, enough of that. I know what you guys are here for, so let's go to Fennel and the extras team for the covering of the Corn division. Up to you, Finn.
And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to BBPN. This is the extras, and I am your host, Finhel Nisha. At my side is, of course, the lovely Mela, and we are going to be covering the Corn division for Season 4 of the BBPN. Now, as you may have recalled from our last episode, we mostly went over a general overview of the different teams making up the different parts of the division. For our part today, at least, it will be a bit shorter of an episode. Mostly because since we already done a run over, and the first 2 weeks is just about wrapped up, with only a couple games left in week 2. There's really not that much that is really blown out of proportion at the moment. We'll probably be saving a more thorough look at the team development for a later episode. So for this one, we'll be looking over perhaps just the current rankings going on right now within Corn, which can be rather interesting in its own right. So maybe we can go ahead and take a look at that. Yes, we. I definitely am a bit of a fan on that part too. Can't really wait to see what they're gonna do. Hopefully they'll be doing rather well, honestly. And of course, it's kind of fun just to see how our favorite teams are handling out anyway. Matter of fact, I think it's about time we just go ahead and do just that. Take a good old gander on over there and see what those current standings are. And as we do that... there we go. Oh, would you imagine that? At the very top of our list happens to be Proxy 85's Pro Elf team, RAS. Tied in first, technically, though breaking it barely just because of their TV value. Followed up by not one, but both the Dark Elf teams, by the Leaping Buggers 2.0 with Werecaster, and close behind with Pork Chop Express by Lando. Though Lando seems to be leading the pack a little bit just because of a win and a draw. Following up to that, we got Skaven's Things Are Looking Up with J-Town Oki, the current champion of last season. Then we got a couple of other games left to have played and such. So we got Undead Boogie. Oh, both the Undead teams with Atomic Undead Boogie by Fort, and Don't You Guys Have Phones with Bazzers. Followed right behind that is the Amazon team, Makes Me Look Fat by Ankev. Kimry with the Old World Reborn with Rental. Then the other team that hasn't played their match just yet to find out where they're going is the Necromantic BBPN Puppies by Macdamus. Madcamptus. I guess Grimwald wasn't the only one having trouble pronouncing that name. Following that, we got the Orcs, Son of an Orc by Wolf Howl. Then the Ogres, Mighty Blow Maulers by the Commissar himself. The Goblins, the Dastardly Devils by the Doc. And then the Mini Dickus with Cosmodan, Dwarf team. A slow chugging team, but they'll catch up. And then at the very bottom of the thing is the Bretonians with Flesh Wound. Now, of course, keep in mind this is just the first 2 weeks of the season. Plenty of different things, pitfalls here and there, but all round it's anybody's kind of game for the most part. All right then. But, it is kind of surprising to see all those groupings. Wait, Mello, what's wrong? But, my dear, come now. Then you just see that it was like they are the top tier. I mean, yeah, they're not number one where they belong, but it's not that big of a deal at the moment. Like, even one of them is tied for first place. It's just a minor formality. We don't have to worry that much about it. I'm sure they'll be able to pull it out. After all, I mean, they're dark elves. That's what they do. Yes. That probably would make a. Hopefully, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. Hey, Grim, why don't you just go ahead and give us an idea of? I think from what I've heard, there's been a couple of deaths already in Corn. Isn't that something that you can give us some good insight to?
Are you sure you want to hear about this? It's not exactly a pretty picture.
Oh, come now. Any death's a good death for you, Grimwald. Why are you being hesitant about this? Go on, give it to us.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you. All right, you bunch of jackasses. Welcome back to my segment of the show. And by now you should already know where this train wreck's heading. This is Body Counts. Now, as a fresh reminder for all you sissies out there, Body Counts is basically a body tally of all the different unfortunate corpses that decide to wind up on the pitch itself, which, of course, are generally donated to me and then repurposed and refashioned for various different things. Now, since we're only covering Corn this division, we could probably go into a little bit of further details, but the deaths on this tally board happened so early that none of them have been really players of note. If anything, they're just more doorstops and coat racks at this point. Nothing too tremendous. Just bunch of level 1s and all that. Speaking of which, we got 4 dead things this time around. We got a Dark Elf Blitzer, a Dark Elf Runner, a Dark Elf Line Elf, and a Troll Slayer. Huh. That's a lot of Dark Elves. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you, Finn?
What? I didn't know about that.
Oh, I bet you didn't. But don't say I didn't warn you. But, of course, with all the deaths of the living, there's also the unfortunate parts of the dead guys, too. This part of the episode is given over to the dishonorable mentions. Those necromantic coaches that decide to be utter dumbasses and somehow manage to kill the things that are already dead. Unfortunately... Well, I mean, probably fortunate enough, but it's a zombie that makes this list. I'm not even gonna dignify this any further. I mean, you know who you are. You did this. That was tiring. I'm gonna go back over to the gambling house, see if any of my spreads kind of went out my way this week. Yeah, good luck to you, Finn. See how this plays you out.
Hey, this is not my fault. In fact, it's not even... I haven't touched a Dark Elf team in a long time anyway. Besides, it's not my fault that they died. Blame the coaches for that one. You really think that I would go through all that trouble and do this exact same thing? Huh? Do you really think that I would just throw my Dark Elf players out to the wayside like that? Well, that hit me a little bit closer to home than it needed to. How about we just move on over to Red Hand segment then? What you got over there for us, Red Hand?
Oi, it's me again, and I'm the one covering this stuff up.
Oh God, that's right. It's what the cheat, right? It's like you got the memo then, right? Like how to run that particular portion.
Of course I do. I mean, I work for the boss. I'm his fixer, after all. But you know what? It's better to just show it than explain it. Alright, welcome to this side of the extras. I am the cheat, and I am filling in for the big boss as he's still taking time out, enjoying the countryside, and doing what orc things do best, which is punch and kill things. Fun fact about that. I like throwing gobos too, but that's why I'm the favorite one. I don't get to be thrown. And as for this segment, it's Red Hand's Odds. Now, for all of you who've been probably wondering what Red Hand's Odds is, we over at the Gambling House like to take on certain bets and such for a couple of the different games that might pop up during the middle of the weeks and such. Now, with the first 2 weeks just about wrapped up, and only a couple games left, we are gonna really just more focus on the weeks 3 and 4. And from there, we just pick one game from each of those weeks and give specific odds on who's gonna have the best chance of beating who. And then, of course, maybe with a little incentive from the coaches and maybe the ref sides. Maybe flip it around and such. Just saying. Little money under the table never hurt nobody. Except the guy that you're trying to hurt. And as for this, we got on week number 3, our selection is the RAS versus the Leaping Buggers. Oh, it's elf on elf action. Oh, it'll be even better. Yes, they should probably just kill each other's now. Yes, save us all the trouble. Oh, right. Scary elf lady. Alright, well, whatever. These guys is just a pro elf team and a dark elf team. It's early enough around. Not much development, but this one's just a bunch of elf BS we can only be expecting. 50-50. Really, it's any elf's game at this point. No greenskins tearing any pointy ears up. Whatever. On to the more important, more interesting game, though, is on week 4. We've picked Old World Rulers versus the Mighty Blow Mullers. This is the Emery team, but the Sandy Deads. Yay! Those guys are slow and kind of chewy in some cases. You can get desperate out there, but jerky is always in supply with them. Now, of course, they're up against the Ogre team. Yay, Ogres! Yay! We are expecting a modest expectation of the Ogres taking this one. 30-70 in favor of the Ogres. Because we all want to see the bigger guys punch the little dead guys back into dust. Yeah.
Bad news! How is this my fault? Matter of fact, Mela, haven't you ever stopped to wonder maybe it's because of you that maybe all this pressure's been thrown up? You're expecting way too much out of this, and you're just gonna hope that things will turn out better? Oh, shit. This is not what I wanted to see. Oh, I just know this is gonna come back and bite me in the ass. This is Finhel Nisha, and I think this is a good enough point to cut my losses before the end. I'm gonna go ahead and leave off saying, if I can't make my own luck, I'll just take it from you. Back to you, Cord.
What do you mean you got arrested for a prank? They don't understand your sense of humor? Can't you send one of your mindless minions do your segment? Alright, I'll cover for you, Scar. Oh, hey, sorry for this. Thanks to Fennel and the Extras team, another great coverage of the Corn Division. Sadly, this week, our resident of the Void, Scar, is in vacation and his flight was delayed, so we won't get a segment in time. But he promised to deliver something awesome for next week. So let's go to good old timer, Good Time, for the coverage of the Nurgle division. Up to you, Good Time.
Hello and good day. This is Good Time coming at you with some Week 1 coverage of the Nurgle division. Taking a look at the schedule this week, each team will be looking to start the season off strong and show why their team has a shot this season. Action will start here with the Vamplyte versus Protectors of Azeroth. Vamplyte, along the sideline after being sacked on a double GFI, Count Beryllium dodges into pickup, dodges back into open field with the ball, threatening to score. Not to be deterred, Protectors send Nathanis Blightcaller for 2 dice. Defender stumbles, jarring the ball loose onto the ground and marked up by the Protectors. In a last-ditch effort, free receiver along the side, Count Beryllium, feeling thirsty, re-rolls into failed dodge onto the ball, scatters all next to Norse, who would ultimately recover and score on defense, which would lead to a 3-0 result in favor of the Protectors. Now, next up, we do have the Toxies versus Slow. Starting here in the second half, after the Toxies were stalled out on their offense, Slow looking along the sideline, but not after Suri Nazi off the ground, 2 dice, selecting both down, jarring the ball loose, bobbled everywhere, falls onto the ground, contested by both teams. Slow would recover, but not after a big mark here, leading to 2 dice after a stand-up blitz coming out of Sergeant here, off the ground, stumbles, ball's jarred back down to the turf, bobbled back into contested territory once again. So now Slow looking to counter here with their Slayer, sees Dauntless, success, but 1 dice fails, Skulls. Oh, heartbreaking there as Slow sees their efforts result in a turnover, stalling out their offense with turn 16 approaching. Now smelling opportunity, Toxies with a 2 dice from Sergeant onto the runner, freeing up with the effort of Suri, the 2 Nurgle warriors, the workhorses of the Toxies. Frees up the Rodder, Heavy Mental for the pickup. Oh, failed! With no reroll, that result will stick and see both teams stall out on their drives in a 0-0 result. Now next up, we do have the Jedi versus Bone Bats. Straight away, we will see a blitz for the Bats to start off the season. Sees Batman Smith, 2 dice, coming into pressure, pows the lineman down, right on to where the ball is going to fall down. Ball comes down from the rafters, bobbled into touchback. This would set up the Jedi along the sideline, looking for a quick score. Assist comes out from the Jedi, 2 dice, out of Han Solo, 1 and 9, rerolls, double Skulls. Oh, not the result the Jedi were looking to start the season in their first drive with. This would set up the ball wide open. Robin Richards, the white, 2 dice, stumbles, ball's free, bobbled along the sidelines, straight out of bounds, scatters. Oh, deep into MDead territory, Well, they'll recover and go into score on defense and lead 1-0. Later that half, after a deep kick, Jedi looking to equalize. But after a failed leap, blitz pressure from Scarecrow, 2 Dice stumbles, ball's loose again, and collected by Scarecrow here. This would lead to the Bats going up 2-0 in the first half, resulting in ultimately a 3-1 win for their efforts. Now next up, we do have the Unicorns versus Asylum. Opening, we will see Asylum looking to answer the first half grind of the Unicorns. Pressuring along the sideline. Rainbow free, looking for 2 Dice. Pals bringing the ball down. Bounces. Oh, into a huge catch right in the Elf's hands. Elves will be looking to jar the ball loose and throw to the open receiver in the end zone. Go for it. Good. Second one fails with no reroll that will stick. Now, with the ball being completely exposed, the Orcs do drive the ball down and recover. This would lead to a last-ditch effort. Trans on the 1 Dice. Stumbles, that's good. KOs the ball carrier. Now looking for the ball bounce here. Oh, big heartbreak as it falls into the hands of the Orcs again. Not to give up just yet. We do see a big dodge, which sets up a big 2 Dice from Denver's here. Stumbles again. Ball's free. We do see it scatter on the ground with no tackle zones from the Orcs, but it's not enough as we see the Elves KO themselves, Pilgrim down, resulting in a turnover and a stall out on offense, which would allow the Orcs to ultimately take it 2-0. Now next up, we do see the Slayers versus the Honest Bunch. Slayers starting along the sideline here in second half after scoring on defense. Elf Slayer, 3 Dice, looking to free themselves. Big push, dodges, fails with the 1, re-rolls into a successful dodge there, running along the sideline. Goblins not to give up, will pressure once again. Goblin Slayer this time tries to free the ball carrier here, Elf Slayer, into just a push. Elf Slayer, smelling blood, goes for another hit. Pows. Oh, into a big injury there on Integrity, the Pogo. Armor value is smashed. That's going to hurt. And we ultimately see the Slayers march on to take a 2-0 victory. Now, next up, Game 6. Don't Call Us Goth versus Chernobyl's Finest. Another game where we'll see action straight off the bat here as Finest Boris takes a 2 Dice, stumbles into a huge hit on Erdar. Dead! Right off the bat here, turn 1. Chernobyl's Finest proving they've trained well to start off the season. Now, Goth would be inspired and surf another member of Finest straight in the crowd into another death, actually. So it's deaths on either side. And it would inspire Goth to ultimately lead to this scenario. Ball being pressured wide open for Altharissa with a huge dodge. Second dodge fails. Rerolled. Good. 2 Dice. Oh, into double skulls. Oh, not the result they were looking for. As the Finest would march downfield and walk the ball into the end zone. Second half, Goth looking to answer. Trying to make space downfield. 1 Dice from Umir. Oh, both down and KOs themselves. the Goblin proving too strong in the end. Seeing the opening, Finest send a rat downfield. Nicola, with an assist, comes 2 dice. Block advantage brings Altharissa down into injury. Scatter comes right back to Nicola, who secures the ball. This ultimately secures the game for the Finest as they do march down the field into victory 0-2. Now, last up here, we have the Horn Hats versus Dauntless This. After going 1-0 on defense, Dauntless This has lost the ball on their offense. And the result, 1-0. Now, taking a look at the final results this week, we do see each team's favor. We do see in the leaderboard this week, Day 2 does show some other results in favor here, but it's still quite early in the season, and we'll definitely cover those second week and third week games on the next coverage. Now, this is good time thanking you for your time and sending it back to you.
Thank you, good time. Another great episode of the BBPN Show that come to its end. Thanks to all of you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Until next time, remember, may the less worst of us wins.